The following program is brought to you in part by Time Warner Cable and the Madison County School System. This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome to MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
MCS TV and Madison County School Sports.com present your look at local school sports. Oh, there you go, you got time. Go right. Goes up and under, nice throw.
Welcome to MadisonCountySchoolSports.com. I'm Samantha Burford. I am here today. We want to actually just say congratulations to you, Mark Sinners,
Thank you.
Our new head football coach at Madison Central. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's such an honor to accept the head football coaching job at Madison Central, and just such a wonderful blessing for our family, and just excited to get going. You know, this is one of my first official acts as Madison Central head coach, so thank you guys for having me.
You are very welcome. We're very excited to be one of your first. I know there's a lot of new people to our Madison County community. Some of those may not know your past of, playing football here, being a coach here. So give us a little past history of your football years.
All right. Well, I played for Glenn Green at Madison Southern High School back in the early 90s.
Yeah. Not too long ago, right?
Well, not as long as it seems, but I guess for certain folks, and considering the fact most of my players weren't born, any of my players weren't born yet.
Yeah.
It's getting different. Actually, most of my players are getting close to not being born when my wife and I got married. So it's a little bit longer than what we want to let on. But Coach Green and the staff at Madison Southern were so influential in my life, and really kind of helped me a little bit early on decide that this was something that I really want to think about doing as a career. And took a little bit of a meandering path through college, and worked at PPG factory down in Berea for several years, and met a lot of great people there, and a couple of the people who were super influential in my life there. And then I was able to get back into school at EKU and finish strong there. And then I was able to get a teaching job at Madison Middle. And that fall, when I was doing my student teaching at EKU, Paul Raines hired me at Madison Central.
Okay.
And so.
And that's probably where most people recognize you from.
More than likely, that was kind of my start, and of course worked for Coach Raines there for 3 years, and then when Coach Turner took over at Madison Central in 2003, he was gracious enough to keep me on staff, and I gained a ton of valuable experience under him, all the way up through the 2007 season, and right after the 2007 season is when I got my opportunity to go to Garrett County and become head coach. And We were part of quite a bit of success. A ton of kids at Madison Central during my time as an assistant there went on to college, and a couple of them, Larry Warford and Patrick Ford, have even went on to the NFL, and that's been very special for the school and community, and
for you as well, I'm sure.
It's really nice that those guys think enough that they still contact us, and we're sometimes we'll shoot a text back and forth with each other, and they're just special kids, and we're men now. But we were part of the 2003 and 2004 regional finals runners-up teams with Madison Central, and that was the last time that Madison Central was in the region finals. Was 03 and 04 when we were on staff, and so that's something that we're looking to, hoping to get back to that level and even further. Just so blessed to have my 6 years as head football coach at Garrett County. The people at Garrett County were so good, from administration right on down through parents and boosters and community members and all, and especially the kids.
They're probably not happy. They're probably sad to see you go.
Well, as a testament to what good people and what good kids that they are, they are all been very gracious and all very supportive, and it's tough, and it happens, and when you build your career around relationships, then sometimes those relationships you have to move on from those relationships, and what I keep thinking is that it doesn't make your past relationships any less meaningful. It actually makes them more meaningful.
Right.
And just again, without the opportunity at Garrett County, there's a really good likelihood that we wouldn't be sitting here today. And but God's timing is always good, as we kind of said off there.
Yes.
And it's just a very special thing to be coming back to Madison Central, and I couldn't be any more excited about the opportunity. My family is all on board, and we're all pulling in the right direction, in the same direction now, and just super excited about the chance here.
Do you think that you see any parallels to your time when you started at Garrett County to the possibly like even the season records? Do you see any, the word I'm looking for, and it should be records, I guess, because when you went into Garrett County, they weren't setting the world on fire in football. And do you see any parallel to the way Central is now?
Well, I think the best way I can answer that question is like this: that there's always going to be similarities, and especially in this area, kids are kids, and even though we've got a lot more of them now at Madison Central, the thing that we've noticed right away is how eager the young men are to work. They're very eager to work. They're very eager to be a part of something special, and that's exciting in its own right. That was very similar to when we took over at Garrett County. Garrett County had actually finished 5-7 and won a playoff game the year we took over, year prior to us taking over, and then we were 4-7, 5-7, 5-7, and then when we got our first senior class through, the kids who were freshmen in 08 and 11 is when we really broke loose, and that has been, I hope that we have quicker success from the win-loss column. I think that the talent that is returning at Madison Central is set up to possibly have a quicker turnaround on the field. But we want to make sure that we're going to do things like we did at Garrett in building it for the long haul. This is something, sometimes too quick of a turnaround is not necessarily a good thing because it may not be built on solid foundation.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we're built on a solid foundation, something that I tried to do at Garrett, and my staff and I will definitely try to do here, is build this thing for the long haul, because as I've said before, my hope and prayer is that we will be here for the duration. I hope that this is my last stop in teaching and coaching. But so we want to make sure that we're building this thing for the long haul, and 5, 6, 7, 8 plus years down the road. The guys who are in youth league now are part of a very special program when they get to Madison Central.
Well, you mentioned quickness. I agree with you. You don't always want it to come too quickly. Do you think maybe you're going to have a lot more students? You want to keep the ones that you have already playing football. Are you going to plan on working the middle schools and get some more feeder programs in there to get some more football madness to the program?
Absolutely. We're going to work the halls at Madison Central. We're going to work the middle schools that feed our school. We're going to try to work every avenue that we possibly can in order to get those guys to come be an Indian.
Yeah.
That's kind of a theme that we're trying to get started. And the middle schools and the youth league guys are such a very important part of what we're trying to build, because they are the future. Everything that we are going to be is going to be built for them. And with that being said, we want to make sure that our youth league program, which is already solidly run and in a very healthy state, that we want to continue to build on that and hopefully give them opportunities, and they give us opportunities to be a part of each other's programs. Middle school wise, I had an email out to the middle school principals last night and already got a couple responses. And and the fact that I have some built-in relationship with those folks already, and already have prior knowledge of them, and working with Clark Moore's principal, Vicki Fritz, and Ken Bicknell. Of course, I knew him when he was a football coach down at Foley years ago.
And you probably know Robbie Riley.
And Robbie.
Yeah, he's been there a long time too.
Robbie's been part of both programs, Madison Middle and Central, for a really long time. And he's helping us out a great deal right now, helping us keep weightlifting and things organized during the transition. And those relationships are just invaluable. But more importantly, we want to build those relationships with the kids that are coming, because again, everything that we're doing, everything that we're building is going to be for their success down the road. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we have a lot of immediate success for the guys who are in the program busting their tail, working hard.
Right. They want to see that.
And they're going to see it, because the talent is there. Yeah. In fact, that's another thing about Central that is so special. Coach Brown's team last year was a very young team. The core of the team was a very young team, and they battled through and got some very good experience. And I truly think that we're going to reap the benefits of that experience, hopefully sooner rather than later. Yeah. But all of that into one thing, we want to make sure that as Madison Central football program, we're looking at the total program concept. We want to know that the youth leagues in Richmond, the middle schools are going to feed the middle schools, and the middle schools in Richmond are going to feed the high school, and the freshman team is going to feed the JV and varsity. And when we see the varsity as the top of that pyramid, but without the rest of that pyramid at the bottom, the top's not going to hold itself up.
Exactly. All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break right here at Jack Burford Chevrolet, one of our official sponsors. When we come back, we'll talk about what kind of offense you like to run, some defensive plays, and get your answers to possibly, moving into the future. So we'll be right back right here at Jack Burford Chevrolet with Coach Mark Centers.
This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook, MCS TV. On Facebook. Log on and like us now.
Welcome back to MadisonCountySchoolSports.com. I'm Samantha Burford here with the new head coach of Madison Central football, Mark Centers. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Again, let's get into what kind of offense you like to play and maybe some defense. Where do you see this program going with your expertise in this football?
Well, fortunately, eventually we're going to have a pretty good staff build of some guys who have a very strong expertise themselves, and that's going to be a very vital part of what we do.
Right.
From an X's and O's standpoint, we're going to be pretty simple, really. A lot of the stuff that we will run is based on some of the run and shoot type concepts and things that we developed previously under Coach Raines and Coach Turner's staffs. But we've definitely kind of developed that more into our own package. The thing that we do, and this is something that I'm going to try to sell to our middle schools as well, and get everyone on board in running the same type of thing. What we do is simple enough to where we can play to our strengths. So, in particular, if this year we're more suited to spread the field and put 3 and 4 receivers on the field and have our quarterback in the shotgun and throw it, then we can do that. And if we're more suited to more of a power game and bringing it in, putting a couple of backs in the backfield and running a little bit more power-based football, we can do that as well. I think the important thing is on the high school level, and certainly this is something that coaching in a school like Garrett County has helped us, is to develop our package to suit our personnel as opposed to trying to develop our personnel to suit our package. That's something that I think is important in the high school level all over, because you can't recruit really, and you can't really pick and choose your players, and quite frankly we want to get enough players to where we can do a lot of things well.
Right.
And I think we will. That's been the exciting thing already, and watching some of the kids work out and seeing some of the numbers. Coach Lador, the head coach of our outstanding track team at Madison Central, has already been sharing some numbers and things, and I like what I see based off of that. Coach Roof and baseball guys has got some of our guys, and I've gotten really good evaluation from him. And clearly we've got some guys that are playing on the basketball team that are fantastic. And Coach Feldhouse and Coach Fritz do an awesome job with the basketball program. And we hope that all of those athletes, that in itself is a big part of what I want to do. I think it's important that we share athletes and that our kids are able to do more than one thing.
So you've already spoken to the other head coaches at Central?
At least briefly. At least briefly we've spoken a lot. And Coach Lure and I exchanged some emails and things like that. So, because it's important to get to know the kids as quickly as possible to make those plans, to figure out what we're going to do X and O's wise. I realize I kind of diverged from that X and O thing.
That's all right. We'll go back to it.
It's, really the X and O's part of it is really a lot more about the kids. It's a lot more about the Jimmies and Joes than it is the X's and O's.
So you don't have one specific way of play that Mark Centers is known for, that this is how we're going to do it, and everyone's going to learn this way?
I hope what we're known for is that we're going to find the best position to put the kids in to make plays and to help them be able to make plays. And through doing so, our system is amendable enough that we can do a number of different things well. Again, my hope is that we're putting kids in the right position to make plays, offensively and defensively. Now, defensively, I prefer a odd front defense, a 50 style defense. Because I believe in the flexibility of that as well. I think that it gives you the ability to defend the power running game, teams that are running the power. And a lot of teams these days are running spread offenses, and they've got 4 receivers out there, and they're trying to make you defend the whole field. But when you boil it down to what they're doing, they're running power football right at you.
Right.
So we have to be able to cover those things and make sure that we're strong and sound against the run. If we're going to hang our hat on something, offensively, we're always going to hang it on blocking, and defensively, we're always going to hang it on tackling, and we're going to be very, very fundamental in the way that we do things. We're going to try to run the football and protect it, and if we're running the football successfully, we're probably going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because running the ball and playing sound defense has been a recipe for success for a really, really long time. However, my offensive coordinator, a young man named Ryan Jones, who will be a very familiar name to a lot of folks.
Okay.
He's still, as far as I know, he still holds the career passing records and everything at Madison Central. He's my offensive coordinator and obviously likes to throw the ball, but he also is a fan of doing things well and doing things the right way and being balanced with the run stuff too. So, what I can tell you is you're going to see an exciting brand of offense. You're going to see a team that's getting up and down the field, hopefully, and you're going to see a team that hopefully more than anything is just very, very fundamentally sound and playing very, very hard and aggressive football on both the offensive and defensive sides.
So I think the kids will be excited to hear that too, that you don't want to just teach them new things, you want to play up to their strengths, and I think that would make them very excited.
Well, I hope so, because I've seen some kids, some kids that can flat play wide receiver. I mean, there's obviously some kids that can run and go get the football, and there's obviously some kids on film that are very good running backs. The explosive factor is there. I'm an offensive line coach kind of by trade, still kind of working the staff out, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to fit myself into the mix at, but you can bet I'll probably be somewhere close to that offensive line.
Well, let's go with that. So your staff, have you thought about, you got anybody locked in other than your offensive coordinator that you mentioned?
We mentioned Coach Jones, got him locked in. Coach Velmar Miller is going to come help us with our defense and be our defensive coordinator, and really excited about that because he's been around. He's seen a lot of things, and not only on the field but off, and he can bring such a great value to our staff and a great mentor to our young men. And I've got a couple other guys that are working. Tim Kirk, who was with me at Madison Central and came with us to Garrett County and was my defense coordinator at Garrett County, is going to come as well. I'm looking at probably him being on the defensive side of the ball, working as a co-coordinator with
That's
Coach
still
Miller.
a little under the radar.
Yeah, still a little bit under the radar.
So do we need to beg, or what do we need to do?
Well, God's going to send us good men, and He's in the process of sending us good men to coach these young men, and that's the main thing. We want to make sure that the character piece is in place with our coaches, and we want to make sure that these men that are coming with us want to be here for the long haul, and they do. And you know, we've got some feelers out there. We've got several things out kind of irons in the fire right now that I'm waiting on, and just so appreciative of the response. You know, I've had multiple texts from people who want to be a part of our staff and want to be a part of our program, and some really, really good football coaches who I get this message, and I'm reading this text message, and I'm going to think, well, you know, this guy could be a really good part of the staff, but I've got these offers out, and I'm kind of waiting.
Right, you're waiting.
So things will shake themselves out.
That's always a good thing.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the fact that so many people want to be a part of it is a testament, I think, to the excitement around the program.
Right.
And you know, my only hope is that I know we'll get the right folks in place, and I just hope that in the process of doing so that we don't harm any relationships or anything like that, because you know, we want to. We've got the relationship's what it's all about, and there's plenty of room on board. We've just got to find the right place to put everyone.
That is true. Now let me ask you this: I know it's still very early. Do you already see yourself with a goal for the first year, maybe a goal for the second year, and even 5 years from now to take the program? I do, and you know, one of the things that I tried to develop going into the situation is somewhat of a 5-year plan. Now, you know, there's a lot of different variables and things that go into that plan, but primarily, you know, if I had my 5-year plan here on paper, you would see that year one really doesn't have a target goal for wins and losses. Okay.
Now, I believe wholeheartedly that we're going to go out and have a winning season this fall. I think that if the young men commit themselves to the off-season program and do the things that they need to do in preparation over the spring and summer months, that we certainly have the talent to go out and succeed this fall in terms of wins and losses. The more important thing to me is that we've got to establish this year one, from now until the end of the season, whenever that is, establish that work ethic, establish the way that we want to play, establish the way that we want a young man to represent Madison Central football, establish the character piece, establish all of those expectations, and once we get those expectations established, then it's going to be a little bit easier for them to understand how we want them to play. We want them to play with great effort, great intensity, great attitude, but also great character and great class. We want to make sure that when we walk off the football field, the greatest compliment that we can receive, regardless of the result, that the other team come across the field and say, you know what, you all played hard, you all played aggressive, you all played clean, and you played with class. And if we can establish those type of things, my belief is everything else will take care of itself. I truly believe that the young men that we have will fall into that mold very, very quickly. I've been so impressed with our young men so far. I've got over 50 contacts already in the phone with still some guys who are playing basketball and some other sports that I still need to,
reach out to
acquire those guys. And you know, I don't want to interrupt them. They're in their season. They're in their basketball season. And again, I mentioned earlier, I want our kids to play multiple sports. We've got fantastic sports programs at Madison Central. If they're competing, they're getting better.
Right, and staying in shape.
And staying in shape, and all of those pieces. And then if you're not playing another sport, then get in our off-season program and get after it, and let's go to work.
Well, that leads me to my next question. As far as the off-season, what is your team doing at the moment?
Well, we're lifting. We're kind of scattered, just to be honest about it. We're a little bit scattered at the moment. We've got a good core group of folks that are lifting in the 5th block class, and
Yes.
I'm going to be working with the folks that are running the weightlifting class to kind of get our program a little bit more in place there. That's coming very soon. We've got a nice group of kids that are lifting after school that we're not able to get in the class. We've got at least 10, maybe a few more kids that are participating in Coach Ladour's track program. They're lifting a couple times a week and doing some explosion activities, and again, just getting better through competition. We've got some guys that are still with basketball who will move on to either us or track or baseball at the end of the season, and then we've got some baseball guys that are getting ready to go compete. And of course, I love to see the kids playing baseball. I love the mental toughness that they get from that. I love, my oldest son in particular. He probably loves baseball as much as football, if not more. So, I truly see the value of all of that. But again, if they're not doing something else, we want them in there with us and getting better, and working in the weight room and all of those things. And once we're able to kind of identify all of our pieces and kind of get them a little bit closer together, that's going to all work out. My hope is that I can get into the school soon. There's a plan in place to where if I can get released from my contract at Garrett County, that I can get into the school as a teacher very quickly at Madison Central. I completely respect my Garrett County administration and their desire to get a certified person into my teaching spot over there before they release me from my contract.
Right.
Completely understand that.
Right.
And they understand the value of allowing me to get to the new job, and I understand the value of them needing a certified person. So we'll work together on that, and that'll all work out for the best whenever it does happen. I'm kind of excited. So the sooner I could get in there, the better.
Right.
But at the same time, we'll make things work as we go.
Now, just in the brief moments we've been talking, I find that you are and most people that know you and know you very well, a very religious man, and I believe that you'll take that into, your football season with you, and your character, and how you'll teach these men character and as well as football.
Well, I hope so. The one thing that I try not to hide who I am, and most importantly, I don't ever want to come off as pretentious, or I don't want somebody to see it as fake or whatever. I hope that is not the case. What I want more than anything is for young men to be character driven and to do things the right way. I do believe that if you build yourself on doing the right thing the right way at the right time, good things will happen for you. I truly think that there's a lot of pieces in place there, and while in a professional capacity, I can't put my religion on someone or anything like that.
Right.
I'm most certainly not going to hide the fact that I am a Christian. It's very important that people know that I am a Christian. I make mistakes just like everyone else, and I have no doubt in my mind that it won't take people long to say, oh, he said that, or something. I make mistakes just like everybody else. So the only difference with me is I'm forgiven and thankful for it. But we've got we hope to share that as well as many other character qualities with our young men going forward, and certainly I do believe that I do believe in my heart that God has put us here for a reason. I think that this door was opened in the way that it was opened for a reason.
Yes.
Let's be honest about it. It was an odd situation.
Yes.
Mark Centers becoming the head football coach at Madison Central High School. It didn't happen the way anybody would have ever seen it happen. It happened very quickly. I didn't really have time to prepare myself or my family for it, let alone my administration or anyone else over at Garrett. So, but the door was open this way for a reason, and I'm excited to see why.
And we're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
We're going to take another quick break, Coach, and when we come back, we'll talk about this season coming up, the schedule, and then maybe, get in on some cross-town rivals. I'm sure you know about that school.
I do.
Okay, we'll be right back with MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV. And of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome back to MadisonCountySchoolSports.com. We're going to start calling this the Jack Burford Studios. We've kind of taken over for all of our coaches' shows, and we're very thankful that they allow us to be a coach's sponsor. I'm Samantha Burford, here with head football coach Mark Centers, Madison Central's new football coach. Again, congratulations, Coach. Let's talk about the schedule for this season. What are your thoughts on that? Can you make any changes? Do you like the schedule?
Well, the schedule in place is the second year of 2-year contracts, and obviously statewide realignment will be starting, will take effect in 2015 scheduling cycle. So, the intent is to honor the contracts.
Okay.
The main game that changes, the bowl game to begin the season, we'll be playing Murray this year. Opening up with them, so
okay.
that'll be a change on the schedule, and then everything else should just flip venues. So that being the case, we kind of have a pretty good idea of where we're going, and
you're
what we
okay
have
with
to
that.
attack.
You like that schedule?
Yeah, I mean it'll be fine. It's definitely a challenging schedule, no question about it. I feel like walking into the competition against some very good teams,
Especially the Lexington teams.
Yeah, and quite frankly, we're used to playing those folks. When we were here before.
Okay.
We played the Lexington teams on a very consistent basis.
As coach at Gary County, did you play a lot of?
No,
Okay.
did not play many Lexington schools at Coach at Gary County. Of course, being 3A as we were, I had opportunity to play them. We got a lot of offers to play the 6A folks in Lexington, but at the time that just wasn't quite best for our program. Played a lot of 5A schools.
Okay.
When we were at Gary, and had some reasonable success against those folks. We excited about the opportunity to get back to that competition level of 6A. That is extremely exciting.
Do you want to play Gary County?
Well, if the opportunity presented itself on down the road,
Okay.
perhaps we might. But,
Maybe not this year, but the next year.
Yeah, maybe get a little bit of space, because I love those kids over there.
Yeah.
And I want to see them have super success. I want to be their fan for a little while.
Yeah.
And so I want to see them have super success as well. But with the 6A schedule being as challenging as it is, I think it's important that we play the Central Kentucky schools and the Scott counties, and of course really excited. The Clark County rivalry that has been for years and years is part of our district schedule, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
And under Coach Turner and Coach Raines, we had some pretty good success against the Lexington schools and the surrounding area schools, Clark County and all that. It looks like we got Lexington Catholic on the schedule, and I know they've got a new football coach and kind of a reconcerted effort there. That'll be a big non-district game. Dunbar and Coach Raines will be a big non-district game, and an exciting game. Be the first time that he and I have met each other as opposing head coaches, which will be kind of
exciting.
different.
Yeah.
So a lot of big things up on the schedule, a lot of things on the horizon. But very excited about the schedule and the season to come.
So the new football facilities. What are your thoughts on that beautiful new? I call it beautiful. I mean, it is it's gorgeous, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. I mean, the field and the stadium itself is just amazing. And we're excited about the commitments that the school and the Board of Education has made in helping us upgrade our weight room facility. And I'm excited in the coming weeks to get a Booster Club Booster Club organization meeting together and get those folks on some things that we need, because We've got an opportunity. I'd really like to see our locker room facilities upgraded. I'd really like to see our weight room facilities upgraded to match what we've done on the outside.
Yes.
The stadium and the turf field and all that is around it is outstanding, and it's first class. And we want to make sure that our locker room facilities are first class for the kids, and we want to make sure that our weight room and training facilities are first class.
Because that's not in public view. A lot of people don't see that, so they don't realize how out of date some of that inside, the weight room and
it's important. It's important for the kids, not only our football kids, but all the kids that are going to come through and use that weight room. It's important for them to understand that a great deal of pride and a great deal of dedication is being put into what the facilities are that they're working for and we're working with. And there are some things that we can do better in training with some new and more equipment in place. And in some cases, it's just that's the deal. We just need more.
Right.
Because
especially if you get a bigger program
with the
more
numbers
men.
With the numbers growing, we need to be able to accommodate more. We need to accommodate more safely. And some of the things that we're looking at with the weight room and the power racks and the cages and things like that will allow one or two coaches to adequately supervise multiple 20, 30 kids at a time and make sure that we're supervising them safely. And that's a huge component of the weight room. So, excited about those things that are coming. It's certainly excited about the field and everything that we already have. And all of those things together will hopefully push us to be one of the premier programs in Central Kentucky.
Where do you think the money will it have to come from the Booster Club? Have you sat down with your athletic director?
Brandon and I have been in talks about it, and honestly, we talk a lot about it all the time, and Mr. Munson, and it's going to be a collective effort. We have a booster organization that I'm told is chomping at the bit, ready to get things
They
moving.
do have a wonderful athletic booster program in football.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the folks that want to work and make things better for the kids, and not only their kids, but all the kids. And that's a really exciting thing. I'm excited about some of the fundraising things that we're doing in-house that I think Brandon has some really good ideas that he's going to put in place to help us get some in-house money, and hopefully we can get some support from the Board of Education as well in providing some things that quite frankly are much needed for the safety of the young men and women who will be using our weightlifting complex. And that's the nice thing about football. I truly believe that football should be one of the leaders in the athletic program. I always have believed that. That was one of the things that we built our program around at Garrett County, is that we should be one of the leaders in the athletic program. And we understand that lots of other sports and clubs and organizations are going to make money through our program, either directly or indirectly, whether it's concessions or sales at games or just being a part of things like that. We understand that that's going to happen, and we hope that happens. But we also know that, I don't mean to compare Madison Central to a small college, but in some ways a large school like Madison Central is somewhat like a small college type thing. And if a lot of things are going to be on the backs of football, then the football program needs to be taken care of, and the school as a whole can benefit because of things that are bought that the football team can benefit from. All the kids can benefit from.
Many athletics.
That's right.
Central can benefit from.
If you're, and even folks like I'm not sure if the ROTC program uses the weight room facilities or not, but that's a program that could benefit from weight room facilities. So a really nice weight room is essential to a growing and proud football program, but so many other folks can benefit from that by way of it coming through. So if we can use football as an avenue to improve things for the entire school, I don't see why
it's a bonus for everyone. Yeah. And I think Coach Fritz would agree with you. I mean, we interviewed him several weeks ago, and he's got some big goals as well, and I think that's one of them. So I think he's right on board with you, and I know a lot of parents would be too, because they want to see it improved. I think the weight room and locker room, it's very outdated.
Well, and that was one of the exciting things. In my initial conversation with Mr. Muntz and in all the conversations, of course, Brandon and I talked together a few years ago before I left for Garrett, so we already had some working knowledge of each other. And the exciting thing for me is those conversations that we had early on. We had a very similar vision for where we wanted to go, And I think they see that my vision is true and my vision is honest in what we want to do as far as building the program. That they understand how important it is, and they're very supportive of the folks that I'm wanting to bring in for our staff, because again, the staff is far more important than I am. We want to build a staff for this football program that if something happens and I can no longer be the head coach,
This program keeps moving forward.
It never misses a beat, and it should be built that way. And with the men that we're hoping to bring in, any of those men could take over and the program never miss a beat. And that to me is probably the most important thing, because the kids are the ultimate most important thing. The staff, in my opinion, is the second most important thing, then the facilities,
Right.
and then the gray-headed fat guy.
Well, we're glad you have a sense of humor. With that, before we finish our interview, I mentioned earlier about our crosstown rival with, Madison Southern. With Madison County School Sports, we go to both football games. We go to all the basketball games for Central and Southern. So we know, the coaches there as well. What are your thoughts on the big rivalry? And, Coach Clark even put on Twitter recently, he congratulated you on your new job and was looking forward to, making the rivalry even healthier and more fun.
Well, I regret that I missed that tweet.
You'll have to go back now.
I'll have to scroll back and look, but Coach Clark certainly has done an outstanding job over the past few years at Madison Southern and growing that program at the rate that it has grown. In terms of success, the program has grown by leaps and bounds since he took over, and certainly he and his staff have done some things well. They've obviously got some really good players. We had the privilege at Garrett County of playing them during Coach Clark's first early years there. I guess it was his first 2 years, and that was really a very good rivalry. I felt like it was something that we were unfortunately not able to continue this past 2-year cycle, but we had especially the second game, which would have been Damian Harris's sophomore season.
Yeah.
We had an extremely competitive game that we ended up pulling out. Garrett County ended up pulling out at home by 1 point there at the very end, and it was an absolute battle and a very good game. And from what I've seen, the film that I've seen briefly, they improved dramatically from 11 to 12, and again dramatically from 12 to 13, and just the improvement level has been off the charts. And so a very good program. Obviously they're putting some good players on the field, and we're excited about the opportunity to I do think that should be a strong rivalry. There's no question. I do think that the Madison Central Madison Southern rivalry has the opportunity to be one of the better rivalries around. Right. Anytime that the two schools get together, it's obviously a huge thing for the county. And that should be one of those nights where literally they have to turn the lights off everywhere else to accommodate all the people at whichever stadium is getting to host it this year.
Well, and I believe you guys go there this year.
They get the opportunity to host it this year, which will be very good. I'm certain that they're looking forward to that, and it'll be an opportunity for me to go back to Madison Southern. And of course things have changed so much since I was there. It's really completely different than it was when I was there as a young man, but the opportunity to play them down there on their home field, and it sounds like there's some things in works behind the scenes to possibly make that a really big night for both of our programs. So we're very excited about the opportunity to get to go down there and certainly test ourselves against the likes of the top running back in the junior class. And, and certainly our staff and Coach Clark's staff will both be wanting that game very badly. But the most important thing is in preserving that rivalry is that we both understand that when we walk off the field, we respect each other in the utmost way, and we walk off the field in the right way with our heads held high, regardless of the result. and we make sure that we handle ourselves with character in class when we walk onto the field and when we walk off the field. And that, in my mind, goes a long way to making a great rivalry.
Right.
Because
And the kids
of
as
the mutual
well,
respect.
the athletes as well.
That's right.
Make it fun, but,
mutual
still competitive.
That's right. Mutual respect has to be there. I assure you, nobody will want to win that game that Friday night more than me. And I would dare say that if Coach Clark sat in his chair, he'd say the exact same thing
too.
And our staffs would say the same thing,
Yes.
and our kids would say the same thing. Nobody will, we will want to win that game
Right.
very much. However, it is a game,
Right.
and it is a great game.
Well, and a lot of the students, they know each other.
That's right.
We're in the same county. They've played football in middle schools together if they've moved or whatever. So, they know each other.
Go to the same movies, go to
Right.
the same places, get your hair cut at the same place, go to the
Right.
same restaurants, the whole bit. And the bragging rights is an important piece in that, but it's also, being able to treat each other with that mutual respect, I
Right.
think is huge, and that's what breeds a good, healthy rivalry.
Well, Coach, before we end, is there anything you want to say to our viewers before we let you go today?
I think the most important thing that I can say in summary is just how thankful I am that so many people have been so accepting, and so many people have been so I've received so many texts, so many emails, so many well wishes for myself and my family. It's been a little bit overwhelming, to be honest about it, and how many people have been genuinely excited for us. One of the neatest things was I had so many teachers that I had taught with at Madison Central before that emailed or sent a text or some type of message saying that they were excited that we were coming back to Madison Central. My wife has received so many
Yes.
well wishes from folks. My parents have received so many well wishes from folks, and it's just genuinely exciting for us of how many people have been so good. And it's why we want to come home. It's why I want to come home.
Right.
My wife, as I say, she's been teaching here for a while, and the kids go to school. Boys go to school at Kirksville, and my baby's in daycare over here in town. And now, after 6 years of my professional life being in Garrett County and my family life being in Madison County, now we're all pulling in the same direction, which is just fantastic. And all of these folks just appreciate their support so much in getting behind us, and the times aren't always going to be rosy. They're going to be tough times, and I'm going to use the term rebuilding the program, but I want to use the term reestablishing the program, because let's face it, Coach Brown and his staff won a district championship just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like when I took over at Garrett County and it being a total rebuild. And my principal, when I took over there, said, "This is a rebuild. This is what we need you to do." Here, the pieces are in place and to be successful. So it's really not so much a rebuild as a reorganization, reestablishment. And that's exciting. And it's not always going to be easy. It's not going to be a simple process. And there's going to be a ton of work that a bunch of dedicated young men at Madison Central are going to have to do to get us there. But they will get us there. And they are willing to do the work. And I'm super excited about getting to coach these young men and see where we can take this thing. And again, the door was opened in a strange way, so let's see why God opened it, and let's see where this thing goes.
Well, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again from our entire team at MadisonCountySchoolSports.com. We're very excited that you're willing to be a part of our coaches' shows. We look forward to working with you this entire football season, and we want to wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Go
I appreciate
Central,
it.
right?
That's right. Come,
All right.
Come be an Indian. That's what we want everybody to do, especially
That's
the guys
right.
in the middle school and youth league. Come be an Indian.
All right, and on behalf of MadisonCountySchoolSports.com, I'm Samantha Burford. Thank you for watching.
Oh, there you go. You got time. Go right. Taylor goes up and under. Nice throw. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now. This sports programming is brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service in Richmond, Jack Burford Chevrolet, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, ScenicCabin.com, Linville Insurance, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, Richmond Tourism, Pro Signs, CSEP, First Gear, and Rosenbaum Communications. Hey everybody, be a friend of Madison County School Sports Television on Facebook. MCS TV on Facebook. Log on and like us now.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV. And of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.